tonight's Caston wrestling coverage, where the Caston Comets are playing host to the Pioneer Panthers and the North Judson Blue Jays. I'm Blair Zimmerman, being joined up here at the broadcast table by Gavin Hickle. Gavin, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Blair. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. It's good to have you back. I know you had some obligations over the holiday or holiday season and couldn't make the last broadcast, so good to have my normal partner in crime with me. And speaking of partners in crime, we've got Taylor Duncan on the camera once again.
The getaway driver.
Yeah, the getaway driver, yeah. This is how we look trouble now. Anyway, we're just a few minutes out from starting tonight's matchup. Match one will be Caston and Pioneer out on the mat. We're going to do our very best to be able to match up names and rosters. Looking across the weight classes, unless oh no, that's not going to work either. It looks like we're probably only going to have two matchups between Caston and Pioneer and several
Tonight was senior night.
Looks like maybe our one senior is manager Kinsey McClory.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah, because Chris Smith, he's still out due to that terrible knee injury he got during the first matchup against the football season. He's trying really hard to rehabilitate that knee in time for track season, and I know that's still up in the air for him. So.
Yeah, I've been to some physical therapy with him and watched him try to do stuff. I mean, it's just, you don't recover easy from injuries like that, and it can have a big impact on your life, for the rest of it.
I know that he's looking to go into the military. We do appreciate the service of all of our servicemen and women, and so that torn ACL really can play negatively on that. All right. Anyway, I see our heavyweights seem to ball out on the mat. I don't know if they're going to try to get three weight classes to shift up and have their 152 wrestle 160, their 160 wrestle 182, and their 220 wrestle heavyweight. I don't know what the plan is out here tonight.
Like you said, there's going to be two matchups. I don't know if they bumped anybody down to get the most out of what they're doing here, but
I'm not sure. Of course, they might just both teams take forfeits. We'll just have to call it as it happens.
How many? I don't know how many wrestlers North Judson has.
A bunch.
A bunch.
A bunch. I've got the roster right here, and
so
13?
it looks excluding the heavyweight, all of them are going to be filled.
Right, in that
for the most part.
But that's not until the third set of matches, so. All right, well, we will. I'm not entirely sure, even with this being a three-way. With this being a three-way, I'm not sure who's going to be on the home mats. Who's going to be on the home mats and who's going to be on the away mats? Hey, look at that. We've got sound now.
So I was talking to myself?
Maybe.
I thought I had it plugged into the right.
Oh, that's okay.
The right receiver.
Well, technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just hearing the dulcet tones of my voice for the first time, you are watching Caston Wrestling on RTC TV4. Gavin was not having a psychotic episode and talking to himself. I am Blair Zimmerman, and I'm glad you're joining us. All right, second forfeit of the evening, and now we've got our first matchup. We're going to be in our 160 weight class. For Caston, we've got Aiden Sarver wrestling. And this should be Nathan Adams from Pioneer, both juniors. Both tying up those
I was talking with Aiden in his last wrestling meet. He was coming off a big win.
God,
That was a solid double leg. Good reversal, though.
I don't see any points going up on the board. Aiden going for that pin. Nice back bridge there.
Looking to
He's trying to roll
break
out of
it.
it.
All right. That's impressive. Kid had a solid bridge going, I guess. Thought maybe there was a pin there for a little while, but he got 3 points for the near fall. Dangerous territory there.
All right, so should have been 2 points for the takedown, 3 points for that near fall. And Caston is indeed home on the board, which we would anticipate. It's not always necessarily the case. All right. 53 seconds left in this first period here.
You know, he had him sitting on his side right there. That would have been a good idea to stack, pick up the legs from that position. They'd be sitting right on their neck. I mean,
yeah.
It's painful, but, you know.
All right, Aiden trying to get that half Nelson in there for some leverage to roll Adams. And Adams not letting it happen.
Just fighting it off for the 30 seconds
Now
he
the
has.
question, yeah, he's just kind of laying there and just, I'm sure there's a lot of effort going into not getting rolled.
Full Nelson. Can't do that.
Yep. Trying to switch sides, and he didn't get the one hand away before he started snaking that other hand through.
You know, some people are thinking like, "Oh man, full Nelson! Like, how can you do that?" So I've been there. It's sometimes you want to put in both hands. You know, you just get the urge like, "Oh yeah, here we go," and then like it's illegal, and you're oh crap.
Yeah. It's the thing is that Aiden was trying to roll one way, and then realized he needed to roll the other, and just didn't get that hand out of there in time. Now my question is,
he's trying to break him down. Doesn't look like a breakdown I'm familiar with.
He's trying to get that Nelson in there and turn him.
He wants to bounce to the other side. He's trying to pull him over. That's not what you do. You want to bounce to the other side.
And I think, though, I can see that Aiden is breathing really hard here, Gav. And I think he expended a lot of extra energy trying to pull instead of working around and working that leverage and pushing.
See, he's trying to work so much upper body.
Yeah.
He needs to get in a little more with his legs because he's strong. He's strong up top. But,
all right, well, he's definitely got a commanding point lead.
Just trying to tip him.
Now, the thing there is he's got to watch not overbalancing himself to where Nathan can just kind of kick himself over.
Like right there, awful positioning.
But he did end up with Nathan Adams on his back, and there's the pin. Aiden Sarver had control of that match the entire way through. Ended up with a 9-1 lead on points.
Good match, but definitely some things he could have improved there.
There were some technical things that could have improved.
You know, a little more usage of the legs. The legs are important. They can be used to help with pins, as in like, you know, when he was trying to put him on his back and he just wasn't quite down. Well, you can scoop their leg with your leg and kind of flip him up a little bit more, making it way harder to bridge and, you know, pushing instead of pulling.
Absolutely. 182 class Dylan Gearhart getting the forfeit there. And we've got the 220 class out on the floor. This is Jackson Music against Wesley Hopkins. Tying up those locks. Jackson keeping his legs back so that so Wesley couldn't shoot on him. And he got Wesley not doing the same. And Jackson able to get a hand on that knee.
Jackson needs to pick a better shot, for one. Going in like that on the leg, if you've got the muscles to do it, sure. But, you know, just reaching in there on the leg like that, it's not good unless, you know, ankle pick. If you're ankle picking, maybe, but you still want to pull. Right. You still want to do those quite fast.
Both wrestlers out there still fighting for some sort of control. Hopkins looks like he might be.
He's trying to work down on the leg. Now, if he gets behind him, that's 2 points. Jackson's hanging on. Trying not to get it there. Trying to break the arms. Good breakdown. Now he's got to spin to the back. Now that's one of the parts. If you're quick, that's real good for you because he broke him down. but he just didn't go anywhere with it.
Right.
Yeah, when you break them down, you want to put something in, and I'm just not seeing that.
Right.
I kind of don't know what to say. It's just a bunch of locking up, or as Coach Slocum down there would call it, dancing. two bears dancing. Yeah, that's heavyweights. Well, there's a breakdown.
Hopkins is struggling now with his ankle control. Music getting the 2 points, finally getting some decisive control on the match. Now is where he wants to snake in that half Nelson, I think, and lock up an ankle for a roll. But with only 8 seconds left in this first period, I think that Hopkins is going to be saved by the bell here.
That was the slowest sit out, if that was a sit. He just kind of rolled over him like that looked like a sit out, but I don't know what to call that. They're pretty evenly matched.
They really are. I'm seeing a lot of similar technique here. Obviously, same weight class. Go figure. So, just locked up again. Music needs to make a decisive shoot in here. Or Hopkins, for that matter. I mean, I guess if you're watching from Pioneer Land, you're wanting us to be a little less biased on our call-outs, but...
True.
Music getting in behind Hopkins.
The thing is, most like 195s or 182s and up, they like to do throws, preferable instead of shots.
And we're not seeing a lot of that.
I feel like Jackson was attempting to set up a headlock, and it just never.
It didn't happen there. Hopkins has good. He had neck control and arm control. I mean, the thing is Music kind of escaped it, but it's not an escape in any way that's, good for any points. 2 points there for Music. Under a minute left in this period.
Breaking him down. That's when you need to sink in the half.
And we can hear Coach Evans yelling half from up here. There's Coach Slocum. Put your half in him. Pioneer coaches over there just kind of being quiet, looking at the clock. Pioneer coached by head coach Scott Hoffman, assistant coach Brad Smith. There's some vocalism from the Pioneer coaches.
Looking for an escape. Wasn't able to get it. Got 10 seconds.
Music currently with the lead, 4-1 on points. And just I guess when you go by points, yeah, Music has commanded the match. But so far, I don't see that Hopkins or Music has really been in strict control of this matchup.
No,
I mean, at this
I don't
point,
know what to say,
based on the wrestling we've seen out there on the mat right now, I'd still say this match could go either way.
Looks like it's in slow motion. Pioneers Hopkins, is that his name?
Yes, Wesley Hopkins.
Playing some decent defense. Jackson, who's really been just kind of offense, he hasn't had any opportunity to run defense.
Right, and thus the 3-point lead. Referee calling him back to neutral. What was the...
I think it was a reach around or something that had to do with the head. That looked a little odd to me too, but it might have been tweaking on his leg a little bit, because he was folded back. He was kind of going back like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there was no penalty on nothing put on the board.
So it might have just been a little miscombobulation.
Some wrist locks going on there. Got a headlock. Music needs to spin behind him, get some points on this. 2 points there. All right. We're in the third here. Music with a 5-point lead. Hopkins
Looking to sit out.
Still playing defense. He didn't get that sit out fast enough to get any points off of it. Jackson trying to get arm control there. He's working the legs. If you look back, he's trying to get that leg control, trying to get that half in, and he's just not getting good control on this match.
You see when Jackson goes to put in that half, Hopkins, he's playing good defense on that because he's keeping his hands in. making it hard for Jackson to get up in there, grab wrists.
Right.
And you want to kind of break
but
those
with
off.
With less than 30 seconds left in the third and a 5-point deficit, Hopkins needs to be switching to offense if he intends to do anything with this match. Headlock there. Music might actually be working his way towards a pin as the third period winds down. Putting his weight on it, got the pin with 5.5 seconds left in the match.
It's a very slow match.
It was. It was. A lot of times the wrestling team is in the weight room doing conditioning when I'm getting in there to start my afternoon workout.
Sam.
And I hear the coaches say a lot that, Jackson, everything you do looks like it's in slow motion. And I hate, that we're saying that on air, but by the same token, that match, and it wasn't just Jackson there, though.
I will say
Wesley Hopkins. I mean, it was a very even match because they both kind of moved like they were in slow motion.
Hopkins played some pretty good defense. I will say that on whatever Jackson was trying to run, which looked like he was trying to run cow catchers and headlocks. But Hopkins played some good defense, keeping his arms in there because Jackson didn't get a half in. And then when he actually got a hold of the wrist looking for a half, he was able to look away and defend it.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first set of matches, so we're going to step away for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll have Pioneer against North Judson St. Pierre. Stay tuned. You're watching Caston, Pioneer, and North Judson Wrestling on RTC TV4.
This broadcast brought to you in part by these local sponsors. Nutrien Ag Solutions is the world's largest ag input retailer, offering all of your crop input needs. This broadcast brought to you in part by these local sponsors. Nutrien Ag Solutions is the world's largest ag input retailer, offering all of your crop input needs. Stop by our location just east of downtown Fulton or give us a call anytime. Online at nutrienagsolutions.com. Enjoy the game with an ice-cold Coke. Locally owned and operated since 1907, Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Kokomo proudly supports 28 high schools in north central Indiana. Our starting lineup of brands are sure to keep you hydrated on the sidelines and at home. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Kokomo. Please support our local sponsors.
At Co-Alliance, we understand the importance of community. After all, we've been farmer-owned since the 1920s. And now that we're a part of your community, we want to become your total agronomy solutions provider. Co-Alliance offers the latest in ag technology for your operation. From field scouting and fertilizers to premium seed and precision agriculture, we can help take your operation to the next level. Put the resources of your local cooperative to work. Contact Co-Alliance today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are just waiting for the match 2 session to start. Excuse me. Where we have the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays against the Pioneer Panthers. And, well, Gavin and I were talking off air. I think that there's some mandatory rest period here. So we may have just a few minutes. Ordinarily, I would expect the clock to be running, so we would have a clue of what's going on. And this is obviously not ordinarily. So that said, I see some forfeits starting here. North Judson with a pretty full roster. They don't have a heavyweight. I see 106, 120, 126, 132, 138, 145, 152, 160, 170, 182. I think that they have every weight class except heavyweight, though, Gav.
Let's see.
So that's a pretty full roster. So they are going to get quite a few points off of these forfeits. And so I'm going to go ahead and call it. North Judson's winning tonight, just by virtue of the fact that they've got a full roster.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, we're going to have to wait to see what the North Judson and Caston matchups look like.
The heavyweight, Sam Duvall, is actually the only heavyweight here.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
So-
you know.
So he'll get a couple wins. But until we see some actual wrestling, which we do have a match actually getting ready to start here. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen at home, we don't know these guest wrestlers.
Derek
So-
Wireman, I know him because I play football against him, and I'm not sure
Okay.
who the other one is.
Well, then this is the 138, so that's Zach Hughes. I will say Wireman had better posture in that upright. And so sometimes that's indicative. He's points there for Wireman.
breaking him down quick.
Yeah, that posture alone, it really tells you something about somebody's bearing and their overall strength, because if you're paying attention to that, there's a lot more that leads to that. In my chiropractor's office,
Roll. Good roll.
in my chiropractor's office, there's a sign that says, "Are you paying attention to your posture? Because other people are." And it really does. It says something about your overall strength, overall conditioning when you have good posture. And so my money, honestly, is on Wireman in this match.
Yeah.
As he gets that weird half twist.
I'm not sure the name for that. I feel like it's
I don't know, but that was
kind of headlock, but that's how you
wow,
snap some neck right there.
Yeah. Wireman managed to get both of Hughes's blades on the ground, even though his pelvis was facing the ground. My back hurts in sympathy with that. All right. So that was the 138. This would be 145, right? So this should be Gavin Bunch for North Judson against Wyatt Marshall.
Rolled
for
him
Pioneer.
right over and put it in right into the cradle.
Wow.
That was I was like, Judson going in for the kill, and then just flipped him right into that. That was so fast and so slick, but got turned around. He's looking to bridge out of it, though.
Nice bridge out there by Marshall, but I think there's a good chance that North Judson's going to take this match, Gav.
You never know, though.
There we go.
Well, okay. But I'm just saying.
Gavin Bunch with the win for North Judson. All of that happened so fast that the referee didn't even get a chance to call those points out to put up on the scoreboard. All right, so this should be our 152 class. Logan Smith for Pioneer versus Justin Clemens from North Judson. Smith shooting in, not able to make anything. Clemson with the shoot in.
Underhooks.
Smith managing to get a headlock and some underhooks on that, and now has a hold of a leg.
Keeps trying to fake him out with that. Those always did suck. People slam on the mat like they're going in for something, and you'd be like, boom, oh.
All right, well, we got some wrist locks here. And looks like an illegal grab of the headgear.
No, bloody nose.
Oh.
Those happen so much.
Well, yeah.
It's
And
ridiculous.
here's our trainer headed out there. Big thank you to Logan Sport Memorial Hospital. They've partnered up with several area schools to provide trainers on staff. Well, kind of not on staff for the school, but on premise for the school at no cost to our schools. It's really a great service. At least, speaking from Caston's standpoint and as a coach, it just really changes some of the dynamic knowing that we've got somebody there at all times, and a lot more local than for the follow-ups. We were using another company out of West Lafayette prior, and they were great trainers. But then with any kind of follow-up, our students, our athletes had to go to Fort Wayne. In fact, you were probably on the receiving end of some of that with some concussion protocol.
Yeah, I was.
And again, great trainers. I loved the trainers that we had, but then to have an hour-and-a-half drive for anything follow-up, that was pretty hard on our athletes and families.
Yep.
All right, match back underway.
Fighting wrists there.
Yeah, Smith and Clemens. Smith shooting in. Looks like a pretty even matchup so far. Just over 60 seconds remaining in the first period. We got Clemens with wrist control, but there's still just nothing definitive going on.
It's keeping the head
Clemens
in.
getting behind.
Just good sit out, good sit out. Don't reaching behind like that. That's really never just the way to go. There's a lot of things that can completely throw you off balance. In his case, he was able to get him around, but
Right.
a lot of times it's just not worth it. You want to try to fight off the hands
Yeah.
or play defense on bottom.
Gotcha.
You know?
Well, we're back to neutral. 38 seconds left in this first period with no clear advantage coming out. This is starting to look similar to the Pioneer Caston 220 matchup.
Except for it's fast.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. Until they're all locked up and nobody's able to get anything done. The movements are fast.
Like here?
Yes. The movements are fast, but right now the action is not. Oh, got a hold of an ankle.
That's a killer right there.
That's Logan Smith working to roll him over with 5 seconds left in the first. Oh, nice bridge out. Look how high that
He's got
back
it pinned
bridge is.
right over his arm.
Wow. So we've got 5 points going up there for that near fall. Unfortunately, Smith just didn't have quite enough time, and Clemens with that bridge, that was the kind of bridge you drive a car over, Gavin.
Yeah, he had his shoulder blade over his arm. That was the problem with that move. If he was to able just keep the head and kind of bunch things up like so and rock him, it
Right.
probably would have worked. Normally, if you're pretty skinny, you can fold your shoulder blades and like a hot dog bun. I've
Yeah,
seen it
and-
done,
and so you-
and, like
so that
it's
you
all
just-
spine sticking out. It's crazy. This is the point in the match when I would pick them up and body slam them because that's the only thing I knew how to do.
Well, but there's something to be said for picking up and body slamming at a point where there's really not been a lot else going on. We had a reversal there in the Pioneer camp and had another point going up on the board. Logan Smith now, pretty good control. He's gotten behind. He's hooking in the leg. He's trying to get ankle control and wrist control. He's looking to break Clemens down. Smith definitely, look at that move where he's got his foot hooked behind his other leg so that Clemens is not escaping that leg control.
This could lead to a lot of things. I'm not sure where it's going. Reaching behind like that, not a good idea.
Right.
Solid crossface, able to turn him around. Cross faces are basically
A legal punch with the wrist, right?
Yeah. It's just a punch, but they don't call it a punch. How about that?
Got that half Nelson on. He's working on digging that chin in back there into some of those tender back muscles up near the rhomboids and the trapezius. And, anybody who's ever backed into like a doorknob or something when they were on their knees and gotten a doorknob there knows that doesn't feel good. 33 seconds left in the second. And Pioneer now with a commanding 8-0 lead on points.
Got an arm bar in. Those suck, let me tell you. Just someone grinding on that.
Rotator cuff going, no, I don't like it. Getting back up to the
rotator
feet. Right, you don't need a rotator cuff. That's for amateurs. Ooh, Smith almost getting himself pinned.
That's dangerous.
Right, because he flopped his own shoulders
There's
across
no way
the
he's
ground.
going to get a pin out of that if he doesn't pull that arm back. There he goes.
And less than 2 seconds left in the period.
Well, he had his other arm sticking out, and he already started to roll him. I think he caught on his mistake there because the kid wouldn't even have had to try to bridge because his arm would have been sticking into the ground.
Yeah, Smith with his own arm in the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back up to neutral for this third period. All right, we got some wrist locks, a little bit of a neck lock going on. Smith trying to decide if he's going to push or pull, goes in for that leg. All right, got him bouncing on one leg. All he's got to do is hook behind. Can't quite accomplish it, loses that leg control. Now he's got to back up. There we go. Gets 2 points for that takedown. Back on the feet. We got a point here for North Judson. His first point of the match for an escape. Nice kickback move there by Smith to escape the takedown attempt. Well, really, at this point, Smith with his ankle control and locks his hands illegally.
Mm-hmm. Locking hands like that, you can grab wrists, but you can't, like,
right. And it's the natural
cuff 'em.
thing to do because that's the strong position.
Yeah.
But it's an illegal lock, so
You always say you want to grab your wrist instead.
there's a lot of things in wrestling that to make it a fair and a safer sport, because obviously it's very physical.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that fight against your natural instinct, so that you don't do something that's going to really hurt somebody.
And depending on where your spine is been contorted to, it can go from 0 to
Right.
60 in the danger zone real quick.
Right.
So
Clemens now with nice ankle control.
that right there could lead to a nasty trip. Just takes out the leg.
Trip and pin. And that's what he's going for. And really, that's what he needs. 16 seconds left in the match. And he's got a 9-point deficit. He allowed Smith to lock up on that leg. And really, I'm going to say it's in the record books. We're not going to end this with a pin, but we've got a 9-point lead here for Pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
And there he's got that. He's dorsiflexing and locked behind his opponent's leg again there. And just some commanding locks by Logan Smith that allowed him to win that match. And looking here, I don't have grades for North Judson. Logan Smith, just a freshman though. Okay. We're going to be in the 160 weight class now, I believe. Should be Nathan Adams out there for Pioneer against Robert Risner for North Judson.
And them lockups.
Neither of these guys are a big ripped 160 though. You know, sometimes you see a guy who's 160 pounds, but he looks like he's 190.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just like
or
chiseled.
Like, yeah, there's that 152 that we saw at the Super 6.
152.
LaVille? Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. Okay. Nick Felke.
Nick
there
Felke.
we go.
You know, he's 152, and he'll wrestle to 160. Nice cradle here. We might end up with a pin for North Judson.
That's a stack, more or less, actually. Cradle, stack. I mean, they can blend into the same thing in certain
regardless, that's a fairly quick pin sub 60 seconds for North Judson's Robert Risner. Okay, this will be a 170. Pioneer doesn't have a 170. That should have been Taylor Blount if their roster reads in the way I would assume it is. 182 here, Mike Clemens. And we'll have a 195, George Thompson. Thompson. It's got to be Thompson. All right, and now finally well, look at that. Thomason?
Thomas.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there's how you English.
You should have expected that.
All right, here's our 220 matchup. Gavin Alonzo for North Judson versus Wesley Hopkins out there for Pioneer.
Lat drop, maybe? I want to see me a lat drop. But, alas, it's a headlock. But somehow he's able to wrestle him to the ground, and he was at a disadvantage there.
Well, absolutely. This is Alonzo now with some command of this match over Hopkins. Hopkins not wrestling somebody like Jackson Music here, and it's a much more energetic wrestling style than what he was treated to in his first matchup. There's that half Nelson. Trying to figure out which wrist he's going to lock up and which side he's going to half. Sub 60 seconds left in the first round.
Fighting for wrists there. Able to break it. Keep them arms in close. That's how you defend against that. That's when you bail on the sit out. When you're sitting out for multiple seconds, that's when you're like, okay, it's not working.
Oh, here's Alonzo trying to get this pin in.
If he keeps his elbows up, nope. He just laid there.
And there's the pin, yeah.
That you don't do.
Well, when we just looking at these guys out here on the mat, and no disrespect against Hopkins, but Alonzo just has a more muscular build, carrying a slightly lower body fat percentage into the matchup, and
What grade is Hopkins?
Hopkins is a sophomore, so
Still a lot to learn
and this
from.
could be his first year. Last year was Aiden Sarver's first year as a sophomore. He really loves the sport. He is about
Tell me about it.
He is about as into the sport as anybody has ever been into anything. And it's something he didn't do through junior high. He didn't do his freshman year. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until his freshman year during track season when we had senior, give me a minute, Xavier Florida was on the track team. And there was that fun day where they did some wrestling around out on the high jump mat.
And, we did that last year.
But Aiden
Coach was getting mad at us because we were getting thrown on the concrete.
That's a bad idea.
A fantastic scrape on my face.
But Aiden realized that he really loved the sport of wrestling. Well, anyway, so we've got just a few minutes here in between the Caston and North Judson, or until the Caston North Judson matchup. So we're going to step away for a couple words from our sponsors. Stay tuned. This is Caston Commons Wrestling on RTC TV4.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. Evans Agency in Rochester, offering farm liability, farm personal property, and farm outbuilding policies, all customized to fit your insurance needs. Let Judy help you protect all of your possessions. Online at evansagencyrochester.com. First Federal Savings Bank is your local mortgage lender with 6 locations throughout North Central Indiana. Trust the professionals at First Federal Savings Bank. Online at firstfederalbanking.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
At Co-Alliance Propane, we treat our customers like neighbors because, well, that's what we are. When you trust Co-Alliance Propane as your seriously local propane provider, you're trusting a team of professionals who live, work, and watch the game from right across the county, not the country. A team that's close by and seriously dedicated to your safety and providing the best service possible. Find out more about Co-Alliance Propane's seriously local service and how you can get 50 gallons of propane free at coalliancepropane.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a few moments out from starting the Caston North Judson series of matches, and we'll have several forfeits for North Judson. They have a much larger roster, so it'll be just a few minutes until we get back into wrestling action. So stay tuned. All right, taking care of some forfeits here. And I see our 160 weight class taking the mat. This will be Aiden Sarver up against North Judson's Robert Risner. Risner with a pretty commanding match last series. Aiden Sarver getting that lockup on the leg.
Single leg.
Had Risner bodily off the mat and just didn't fall forward with that for the takedown. Gets behind him, getting 2 points for that control. And illegal hand lock there. That's going to give a point up there for North Judson. And they'll head back to center ring, start over. Sarver with that ankle control, trying to get Risner turned over. He just needs to make sure he doesn't do the full Nelson again. Ooh.
Crossface.
Rough crossface.
Got a leg control there.
Sarver, very energetic individual.
He is. He's always full of energy.
And, you know, it comes across into some exciting wrestling, so hopefully he can maintain control. Risner getting his head snapped back as he's dropped against the ref there. And we're back at center ring. Locked up with some collar ties. Risner with the shoot-in attempt. Sarver almost got himself rolled onto his back. Oh, and he's in a bad spot. Bridging out. I have a feeling this is going to end in a pin. I don't think he's going to be able to bridge out for 43 seconds. And there's a pin. Nice turnaround there by Risner.
He got rolled bad.
Yeah. It was looking like it was going in Aiden's favor, and then Risner just capitalized on a mistake, and just that quickly, it went into a no-win situation for Aiden Sarver. All right, we now have the 182 weight class out there. This is Dylan Gearhart up against Mike Clemens.
Lat? Oh, I was hoping for a lat drop. I mean, I'm rooting for Caston, but I want to see a lat drop. They're fun.
Shooting attempt there. Clemens getting a couple points for getting behind and taking control of the match. Trying to break down that arm. Hard hits against the arm there of Dylan Gearhart. Rolling Gearhart, trying to get him on his back. Gearhart trying really hard to roll against that. We've got points for the near fall, a point for the escape there. Couple more points there for Clemens. Couple of escape points on the board for
playing
Dylan.
Some fairly good defense. Trying to fight that off. Oh, needs to belly out sooner.
And there's the pin. Really commanding match there for North Judson's Mike Clemens. Just energetic. Of course, part of it, he didn't have a match up last round.
Rested up, that always helps.
Yeah. That said, though, Gearhart was also able to just take a forfeit in round one. So, you know, he was just physically outmatched in that. All right. Well, Music has to watch out for the same thing that did Wesley Hopkins in last matchup, and that's that Alonzo is a lot faster, a lot more physical wrestler than Music's normal tempo. And no, that was not a Music joke. It sounded that way.
I was about to say, you're punny, Blair. You're very punny.
Yeah, I know that was an unintentional pun. No pun intended. All right, 2 points on the board there for Alonzo. Music propping out. He's trying to wrestle defensively, and I don't think that's going to work out in his favor against such a physical wrestler as Gavin Alonzo. He's reaching back there. He's trying to get leg control, but you're not going to get control from the front like that.
Looks as though he's really trying to just break free and then eventually work on something there.
Yeah. We're out of bounds. We're going to go back to center ring. Spiral chop and get him on his back. Oof.
The chopping on the arms.
Yeah, Music's not going to enjoy this reset here. Propping out, trying to sit out. Alonso now, he's got wrist control, he's got head control, jamming that head into the mat. Breaking down that elbow. Trying to run that half on him. Music trying to keep his wrists out of reach. Alonso not going for that ankle control, though, and I think that's going to be critical here. Music playing very defensively, or wrestling very defensively.
He's trying to prop out, working on just escaping, I guess. There really isn't any technique he's using specifically, except for he's trying to keep that leg
Panic.
up.
His technique is
Yes.
panic. He was not prepared for this physical of a matchup.
Chinese fire drill.
His first match against Hopkins, that was his speed. All right, Music getting a point off of that.
That was for
For
stalling.
Yeah.
Stalling. Or
Alonso put him out of bounds
something.
for the second time, so it was called a penalty against him. We got 5 seconds left in this first period. North Judson's coach is disagreeing with that, and I mean, I'm not sure what their argument is here. Gavin Alonso, a much more physical wrestler. And there's the first period. We're in a start round 2 in neutral. Easily here of both coaches out there shouting at their wrestlers. Music not keeping his ankles back. I think it's going to end up in a shot attempt here by Gavin Alonso.
fighting for wrists there.
Nah, there's Music trying to go in for the ankles. It didn't work out for him.
Looking for a headlock there, cow catcher. Don't reach around like that.
And we've got 2 points for North Judson as Jackson Music allowed Gavin Alonso to get behind him and get control of this match. Propping out, he got back up to his feet. He's got to break something. Honestly, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I would have reached down between my feet and grabbed his ankle and just dropped back on him. Maybe I'm wrong there. I wasn't a wrestler, but just looking at the physics of the situation from up here.
How to snap a knee 101. There you go, Blair.
Hey, if it's the other guy's knee. Wait, that's probably unnecessary roughness, isn't it?
I wouldn't know what to think of it. Sir, I tried to sit out in midair again. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, but okay. As a wrestler, if you are behind and if you're behind your opponent and you have control, but you've let your foot get up in front of him, and next thing you know, you're on your back with the guy on top of you, you're going to be thinking, what happened, right?
Honestly, I think it depends on how mad I am during the match. If I feel like it's dirty or something, maybe.
Does that count as ankle control there for Music? Because
yes, because technically when he was on the ground like that, he was trying to turn and he still had that ankle, right?
Right.
He gets all the way around. That's 2 points. So technically, keeping him from getting there, ankle maybe.
Gotcha. All right.
Coach Evans is not having it.
No, he
gets very riled up.
He does. He's passionate about the sport. And you
real good coach too. Real good coach.
You want passion in your coach, because somebody. It's one thing. Obviously, you want to be calm. You want to be respectful when it's necessary. But if you're just, I don't really care. You did good. Well, you're not gonna light a fire in anybody's belly doing that. There's some ankle control. I'm not even going to question that.
That is maybe a half pipe. That's
unfortunately he needed to hook that leg and get some points for a takedown. Right now, Music's sitting at a 4-point deficit. Under a minute and a half left in the match. So if nothing else, Gavin Alonso is winning on points right now. Now, a pin can make things go either way really fast, but we're not seeing any definite control here that makes me think, oh, you know, Jackson has this great chance of getting a pin. I'm not going to say it can't happen. I'm going to say, though, based on the wrestling we've seen, if this match ends in a pin, it's going to be in North Judson's favor.
Yeah.
Unless Alonso makes a mistake.
There are those freak turnarounds.
All it takes is one mistake. I mean, we saw that there in the matchup with Aiden Sarver. Small mistake, all of a sudden he's rolled over and he's on his back.
I hate that right there. Head, when they press the head to the floor, that sucks because it's like I'm only allowed to do cross faces in this. I can't throw regular punches. That's what make me so mad.
It's like I don't need that neck. Don't worry about it. I got the other one. You know
what? I'll
locker.
take the forfeit. But
all right.
ISHAA. I can never say that right. IHSAA.
I think it's ISHAA.
ISHAA.
I always get that backwards too, because either way would work. All right, Music got a hold of that ankle, but he's not able to get behind him. Match is over now, and so we've got we've got North Judson victorious on points there. Good matchup. Solid respect shown there by Jackson Music. And, well, that we'll have heavyweight Sam Duvall head out there to take the forfeit. The one weight class North Judson doesn't have wrapped up. And we'll have a few more forfeits. And then basically all that's left is final scores. So we're going to step away for a word from our sponsors, and we should have at least final rankings when we return. Stay tuned. You're watching RTC TV4.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. The lawyers and staff at Peterson, Wagoner & Perkins LLP are here to provide the highest quality legal and professional service to their clients presently and for the future. See a full list of services online at peterson-wagoner.com. Woodlawn Hospital, offering state-of-the-art care for Fulton County for over 100 years. Woodlawn Hospital is the area's healthcare leader. Comprehensive care from head to toe. Online at woodlawnhospital.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not... It looks like they are not stopping to hand out ribbons here tonight. And I'm very confident in saying that North Judson commandingly won this just based on their forfeit count alone. That was all the points that they needed to come away with the win here tonight. I'm not sure, very honestly, I'm not sure who ended up in second place there. It probably, based on forfeit count, Pioneer does have a couple more guys than Caston does, so that may have, of course, Caston had a couple of pins there in the matchup with Pioneer, but I don't know. I don't have a proper post-game breakdown. I apologize for that, and didn't schedule any kind of coach's interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight on RTC TV4. Please come back tomorrow. We have a 7:30 tip-off where the Caston Lady Comets are playing host in a basketball against, once again, you'd think I would have known this, Faith Christian. So Lady Comets versus Faith Christian tomorrow night, 7:30 tip-off. Hope you'll join us again for that. Until then, this is RTC TV4. I'm Blair Zimmerman. I had Gavin Hickle up here on the other headset. And once again, we had Taylor Dunkachino Duncan on the camera work. So we appreciate your viewership. And join us next time. This is RTC TV4.